All right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. If you tuned in live, go ahead and put your flames in the comments somewhere and also let us know where you're listening in from. We have for you today, as usual, a phenomenal show. But before I really get into that, I want you to help me bring out the king of branding himself, Mr. Sean Raiz, and let's get into it.
Come on, let's go, let's go. I'm excited, man. We had a phenomenal challenge, 5 days, guys. Endurance pace. Who was up for the endurance? Who was there from Monday to Friday, right? Who was there for the entire 5 days? Listen, guys, it's an endurance race. The race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure. Right? So speed plus endurance, intensity plus consistency equals invincibility. Intensity plus consistency. So speed plus consistency will enhance your performance thousandfold. So ask yourself, were you there? Were you able to make it? You only have success in the things that you can do swiftly and consistently.
Sean, I definitely agree. We've done, I don't even know how many challenges now, and very, very few people could make it for all of the days. It goes back to that 80-20 rule, right? From what I've noticed, about 20% of people make it throughout the entire thing. About 20% of people.
That's
And a lot
right.
of times, those are the same 20% that end up being successful.
All
So
the
it's
time.
sort of weird, kind of weird correlation, right? Super interesting. Super
All the
interesting.
time. We pull out. So one thing I want to talk about real quick is that you want to be able to weed out the inconsistent. You want to be able to weed out the inconsistent. So one of the ways that we did it was we did it during the weekday. So Monday to Friday, while most people are running to a 9 to 5, we were helping people build a phenomenal business, phenomenal brand, right? So that's the excuse that, oh, I had to work, right? So the next thing that we did was we did it from 9 to 12. So early in the morning. That's another thing. So two conundrums, two challenges. It's a challenge. If it doesn't challenge people, then it's not a challenge. It's something easy, something comfortable, something regular, right? So you gotta be mindful of the words that we use. If it's a challenge, but it's comfortable, it's on the weekend, and you can come with no problem or no interruption to your daily schedule. How much of a challenge is it really?
Mm, that's huge. That's huge. I want to send a quick shout out. I see Travis. So Travis is actually, I'm not sure if he's in Orlando, but he says Orlando right now. Shout out to Travis. I see Shade. Keishan is tapped in. Sean, we have a couple of phenomenal guests coming on today. Do you want to talk a little bit to that before we go to the break?
Well, we want to bring some people out from the leadership leverage, right? So, like I said, guys, it's about growth. It's about growth. It's about invincibility, which comes from consistency and intensity. So we had a phenomenal, let me just say something. It's been a long time since I've been in the back office in the Breakfast with the Brand, right? So last week I was in a hotel traveling. The week before that, it was the same thing, traveling. I don't even remember the last time I did a Breakfast with the Brand from the home office, right? From central headquarters. I don't even recall. But last time we were on, we had Bobby Jackson as well as Michelle. So Michelle came on, Michelle D. Clark and Bobby Jackson, and it was a phenomenal, phenomenal endeavor. So I said, why not bring them back? I think it was good for the people to hear it from different people as opposed to just myself, right? So we like to introduce evidence-based results, evidence-based consistency, right? So when we talk about breakthroughs, it's one thing for us to be talking about breakthroughs that we've had and breakthroughs that we help our clients get, but it's different when the clients speak for themselves. We also have Olivia Russell, the Burj Khalifa of exquisite events, right? And one of the things that we introduced during the challenge was your virtual real estate asset, right? The virtual real estate asset. So the brand site, the ecosystem, the hub where people come to learn more about you. And Olivia is one of the first people to really come and take advantage of that virtual real estate asset. So she's going to be here as well, talking about the benefits and the experience and the advancement of her business and how it has increased since that, right, guys? So I want you to be very, very particular about
Okay.
listening. Listening is a key component to leadership. Active listening. Pay very, very close attention to the witness that is born through this morning.
Yes, sir. With that being said, Mr. B, whenever you're ready, take us to our first break, guys. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're gonna have some of these phenomenal guests join us.
Let's
Stay tuned.
grow. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. Come on, let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to bring out some of these phenomenal guests right now. Mr. B, if you can, bring out Olivia. Let's talk to Olivia real quick. Let's talk to Olivia first. What do we call it? Ladies first, right? Ladies first. Olivia, how are you doing this phenomenal morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I am. How are you?
Very well, very well, very well. And with no further ado, Mr. B, I think we have Michelle D. Clark in the background as well. Bring Michelle out. Ladies first. Ladies first. We're gonna put you on hiatus for a moment. How are you doing, Michelle? Phenomenal
I'm
morning.
phenomenal morning to you as well. I am super sensational on Saturdays.
Very good, very good. So you were able to attend the phenomenal brand you added zero to your revenue challenge. What was your takeaways? What was one of the main takeaways from that challenge for you?
Wow, it was so impactful, so eventful, so chock full of valuable information. And I think one of the things that really highlighted and stood out to me was the fact that when you highlight the difference between the mindset of millionaires versus billionaires,
Mm,
that really made a difference to me. So when we're talking about the difference between the millionaire mindset looking to make checks and cash checks as opposed to billionaires cutting checks,
that's right. That's
to
right.
others, pouring
Mm,
into others. And then you talked about the levels of leadership, starting with leading yourself first. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anyone else. So leading yourself first, then leading others, and then creating leaders.
mm.
It was so much information. And for me, being a single mom, being a mom and entrepreneur, it really resonated with me as far as being able to integrate my family with the business, branding myself, putting myself first as the brand, the face of the brand. So now I'm able to design my business around my life.
Mm.
So being able to be there for the brand challenge, it just meant a lot to me because I've been there. I've been to the another brand challenge before, and it doesn't matter how many you go to, you're going to hear it differently because you're in a different place in your business. Part one and part two, it's just something about the information is going to hit you a little bit differently. And so for this one, it really was a gut check when you talked about how when we're in the business, working the business, not just for ourselves to free ourselves, but really to be that Harriet Tubman of authenticity, where we're not only freeing ourselves, but now we're reaching back and freeing others. So that I can go on and on. I could talk this whole hour
Man,
about all the
man,
information. It was amazing.
thank you. Thank you. Just for everybody to understand, like we did 15 hours. 15 hours regular, right? And then there were VIP sessions that equaled about another 15 hours. It's about 30 hours last week of high level, high performance personal brand and brand development, as well as leadership development. We went over business media, building your remote teams, authenticity marketing, name, image, and likeness, as well as delegation. And we rounded it off with the offer, right? The offer for the brand site, right? The brand website, the virtual real estate asset with multiple doors, right? Endless doors, infinite doors. Everybody wants to go into real estate. Well, we teach a little bit differently where you have a virtual real estate asset with limitless doors, unlimited doors, right? And this thing has an infinite payback, an infinite payload. Olivia, you've come through the branded like a leader, you've come through the leadership leverage executive coaching community. You've gotten one of those virtual real estate assets, one of those websites, one of those phenomenal brand sites that speaks to your brand, who you are, your morals, your values, your principles, and connecting with your ideal audience. What has been the shift in your business before you had that and what you have now, and how you're able to connect with your audience through that medium?
Yeah, being able to take that asset with me, to say, look at my website.
It's hard for me to hear you. I'm sorry.
Being able to say my website, take it. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Being able to sit in the meeting and say, here's my website. That's been the most amazing thing. This is the body of my work. Those type of things.
Good, good. We need a little bit of clarity on the back end, perhaps, Mr. B. Let's bring out Mr. Bobby Jackson. So, Mr. Bobby Jackson was actually there as well. I believe he was able to attend the 5 days, sometimes on camera, sometimes off because he had a lot going on. Mr. Bobby Jackson, how you doing, sir? Phenomenal morning to you.
Good morning. Phenomenal morning to everyone. It's always a pleasure to be on with you all in the morning, but it's been great. It's been absolutely phenomenal so far.
What was your experience during the brand challenge, the brand you added zero to your revenue challenge?
It was extraordinary. Much like Michelle D. Clark said, you get something different depending on where you are in your business, right? And at the stage of my business, the three that stood out to me the most was the remote working, the authenticity aspect, marketing, and just authentic living, and then the delegation piece. Because I'm at that stage in my business where so many things matter and nothing can really go wrong. And in business, you really think about uncertainty, because I was teaching this actually this morning about the difference between being an entrepreneur and being in business. And I want to tie, or say being a business owner, I want to tie this back to the brand challenge, because what you did there and what you do with branding and leadership is so insightful that I think the audience will be able to glean a lot from this. So as I was under Sean Rice's tutelage, and I'm still under it to this day. Couldn't get that word out right. But as I've been mentored, I've learned something very specific. And one thing that I learned was, what is coaching? And coaching is a future focused, goal and action oriented process. Emphasis on process, emphasis on action. And what I found myself teaching, believe it or not, was how important process is to building a business. Because what I realized was that we have gotten away from something we learned in elementary school. And what we learned in elementary school was, what is a hypothesis? Kids would raise their hand. A hypothesis is an educated guess, ma'am or sir. And when I ask my clients, what is a business? They give me all these answers. And I told them, they're right, but the real answer is, it's a hypothesis. It's a guess of what you think can happen. And when you go through the evidence-based stuff that you taught on brand day, on the remote working day, on the authentic marketing day, name, image, likeness, and delegation, what I took away as a entrepreneur, finance, economics background was that if you do these things right, you not only know what you're building as a leader, how you're branding yourself and positioning yourself, but you know what to test. And for those that are at the same space in business as I am, then you're resonating with this. If not, that's okay. We've got other people on the call, but it's like, at this stage that I'm in, everything is testing. Like, who do you hire? Who do you fire? What do you invest in? What don't you invest in? Who do you delegate what to, and when do you delegate it to them? So the brand challenge for me was absolutely remarkable, because we do multiple 6-figure months here, there. Like, those are things that happen, those multiple 5-figure months. And when you get to that space, you haven't made it by any means, but you're definitely no longer trying to get it one day at a time. So that was my experience. Very, very impactful.
Very good. So you basically go from hustling and hoping, right, to concrete results. From hustling and hoping to concrete results, and from a hypothesis to evidence based. Right? Yeah. So
said it better.
Yeah, plucking a abstract from the ether and making it a concrete. Very important, guys. This is so important. Many people use the word metaphysical. There are more words that are used in connection with this alchemy. Taking a thought and making it a reality. So Olivia works with events and creating an event out of someone's mind, an idea, and creating a reality out of it that's concrete, taking an abstract hypothesis. It could be good. It could be great. It might make sense if we, right? And creating that in the material world. Olivia, talk a little bit about the alchemy piece and bringing an idea into reality from your background.
Yeah, so there are a lot of steps that go into that. Can you hear me this time? Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, there are a lot of steps that go into that, and there's a lot of experience that's required to take that. And again, as you said, evidence-based and years of experience that are required to make that happen. And so, through this process, and one of the things that you were asking for, I've been able to capture that with the website now and show and embody what our organization does, and the years of experience with pictures, video footage, also putting that with the social media, so that now as I go into meetings with clients, you can just say, take a look at my website.
Very good. Very good. So it makes it a reality. I tell people all the time, they don't buy what you say. Yeah. People pay for what they see, right? People pay for what you see. So a lot of our audience have an idea. They have education, experience, and expertise laid in background. However, many times it hasn't translated yet to the income, the impact, and the independence, because they're constantly preaching it. Yeah. Instead of screening it, right? They're constantly saying it instead of portraying it. And that's what Bobby was talking about when we take the hypothesis or the guesswork out and make it a reality, make it tangible. So I just want you guys to think about that real quick. Think about how many ideas you have, and think about how much money you're leaving on the table that could be swept up, raked up, and put in the bag, right? When you take your ideas in a conceptual world and make them a reality in a conceptual world. So from conceptual to contextual, you want to be able to feel it, guys. You want to be able to feel it, and you want to be able to send people to your phenomenal trophy and award chest. Just think about that in high school. In high school, you would walk past the trophy chest and say, there I am. This is what I did. That's me. That's me too. It's historical now. It's a piece of history. It's not going anywhere. So if you've gotten trophies in high school, you know they're still there. If you really broke records, if it was good enough, it's still there. So again, guys, this is that virtual real estate asset that never, ever goes anywhere. Michelle, before we go to the break, talk to us for a moment about having that impressionable image that lasts, something that outlives the moment of emotion, right? Because that's what evidence-based is. Evidence-based is something that outlives motivation or inspiration, where someone gets hyped up and then left without knowing what to do, right? So I always say where motivation ends, discipline begins, right? So a lot of people have high hopes. They get excited. They go to an event. They're hyped up. They're excited. They're ready to go. And then after the event, they fall flat. And they don't have a clue of what to do or a blueprint of how to get there. Talk to that for a moment and what the differences are before we go to the break.
Absolutely. And that was the exact word I was thinking of when you said about motivation ending and what comes next. And the discipline. Discipline makes all the difference in the world. And what helps us to be disciplined is knowing where we're headed, having that dream, having that vision, having that clarity. So knowing exactly where we want to go and then learning how to get there. And it's so important to have somebody who's at the helm who can help to lead you, because of course, to be a leader, first you have to be led. And when you have mentors who have evidence-based results, like how Mr. Sean Rais and the brand has evidence-based results. So when you follow someone who has already paved the way, it takes the guesswork out of it. So with the brand challenge, the thing I loved about it is that you gave us the why, and then you helped us with the who, turning it from the why to the who, which is us, and then putting a name on it. Oh, that was so, I know we're about to go to break, but I just had to break this down 2.5 seconds, y'all. When Mr. Sean Rais told us, when we're talking about the who, like, why is this so important to us? Who in our life are we working for? Who are we doing this for? Don't just say my son, my daughter, my family, my this. No, put a name on it. Yes. Because when we put a name on it, then it brings up images in our minds that helps to, again, make it concrete. So then it solidifies why we're really doing this. It's not just hyperbole. It's not just happenstance. It's not just hope and stance. It's now anchored in something.
That's right.
And that's what's going to help us when the motivation wanes away, when the rah-rah is gone, everybody's gone, the Zooms are all signed out. Zoom is gone, and now it's just us. It's just you. When it's just you, the discipline is going to take place because you know exactly what to do. Sean Rais gives us the blueprint of what to do. That is what makes the difference. You're not left in the dark with just emotions and feelings. You actually now have concrete evidence and a way to get to where you want to be.
Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Sean is the bomb.
I said Sean Rais.
I'm proud. That's Sean Wright East.
Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, guys, so we are back. This is Breakfast with the Brand. It's not too late to go ahead and put your flames in the comments if you are now tuning in. Michelle, before we went to the break, you mentioned something that was so important. And I think I noticed that Dr. Kroom also put it in the comments when she said anchoring. Now, everybody loves motivation, right? Everybody knows what motivation is. We all love motivation. We all feel the need to be motivated at some point. But we also know that, to be honest, discipline is what takes us to success. So my question to you, Michelle, is describe your journey a little bit and talk about the discipline that it requires to sort of get to where you are right now.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to expound upon that. So I like to talk about 3Ds. So a 3D framework. And the first one is decide. You have to decide, before that, the first one is dream. So dream first. And that one is helping to expand your mindset on what it is exactly that you want to do. So dream about it and then decide to take action, right? You have to make a decision that this is really what you want to do. I think this is where sometimes the wheels may fall off, if you will. So I like to tell a story about 3 birds on a wire. 3 are on the wire, 2 decide to fly off. How many birds are still on the wire? Most people will say 1. That's not true. It's still all 3 birds on a wire, because just because you make a decision doesn't mean you act. Doesn't mean you actually flew off, right? So you have to make the decision then to act. Then the third D, the most important one, is discipline. So once the pathway is clear, once you know what you want to do, once you make the decision that, yes, I'm going to do it, then you decide to take action. Then you have to anchor yourself with the discipline, because there's going to be times, y'all. I know somebody out here is going to feel this one. There's going to be times you don't feel like getting out the bed. There's going to be times where you don't feel like making the phone calls. There's going to be time where you don't feel like maybe if you're a coach coaching someone else, because like, man, I got my own problems. Life is going to come. Life is going to come. That is what it is, ebb and flow. But despite it all, the decision and then the discipline to do it anyways, because we have to do the things that we may not want to do in order to have the things that we want to have. Another way to say that is we're to do the things that other people won't do, so that way we can have the things that other people won't have. And that's called opportunities, that we're able to now give ourselves, our family, our legacy, an opportunity, and also now to give back to others. So that discipline is what's going to carry us through those daily disciplines. Something that's easy to do is also easy not to do. But we have to, each and every day, make a decision that, whatever that dream was that I said I have, are the things that I'm doing right now going to lead me to that goal, or away from that goal, to that dream or away from that dream. And if each and everything that we do is leading us away from it, that's called drift. Another D, y'all. Drift. And it's so easy to happen. Those small incremental changes that we make can either carry us to, like a rocket ship, to the moon, or it can bury us. So I just want to leave you all with this on this part of the discipline is that when you're making decisions, keep your dream at heart. Think about what you're doing it for. You know, I'm doing this for Khalees. I'm doing this for KJ. I'm doing this for my sister Jennifer. I'm doing this so I can see my parents, Ulysses and Joanne Clark, to be able to help them because they're in their senior age. I'm doing this for myself, for Michelle D. Clark as well. Michelle D. Clark, who had those health issues, ongoing cancer, 2 strokes. I'm doing it so that way when I leave, I'm not leaving debt. You know, I'm leaving my family something that can help them, not hurt them. So whatever that why is for you, think about what it is. Think about that dream. Make the decision that you're actually going to follow through and then anchor it with discipline that'll carry you through even when the motivation has left you behind. The discipline is going to carry you to your dream.
Oh, Michelle, that was so beautifully put. You know, something that Sean says. I heard Sean say this on a Breakfast with the Brand once, right? I believe it was something along the lines of, most people they take from their future and they deposit it into their today. That always stuck with me. So I love what you just said. And one thing that personally has helped me, one little sentence that comes about it for shifting perspective is not telling myself that I have to do something, but rather telling myself that I get to do something. So I don't have to wake up on a Saturday morning. I get to wake up on a Saturday morning and do breakfast with the brand. I don't have to, I don't know, send 10 emails or whatever it is. I get to do it. And I think having that slight shift in perspective is something that could be super powerful for everybody on this call. Let's go to Bobby. So, Mr. Jackson, I mean, I've seen you from the beginning. I noticed when you came inside of the leverage, and like where you are today is absolutely phenomenal. And I think you're a beacon, a shining example for most people. To be honest, most people who are going through programs, it's not a a myth. Most people who go through programs, they don't succeed. They just don't, for whatever reason. They don't have the discipline, they don't have the character traits, etc., etc. So my question to you has been, what are some of the most powerful character traits that you've developed over the last 2 years while being inside the leverage that has allowed you to go from where you are, or from where you used to be, excuse me, to where you are right now?
Excellent question. I would say they weren't character traits that I developed in the sense of I didn't have them, but there were more so character traits that I had to lean into for sure. So there were two that just about everybody has. If we're talking about what does it take to take a program like Branded Like a Leader or like the Brand Challenge or the Leadership Leverage and have it pay dividends, right? What's required in order for you to get those types of results? I would say one of those things is self-interest. Self-interest, interestingly enough. A lot of times we can get into programs and think that the program is going to solve our business's problem. It's not the case. In reality, you're joining a program like this in order to develop yourself to the point where you can go and solve your business's problem. But if you're not self-interested enough to do what is best for you, you'll pay thousands of dollars a month for a course and miss the meetings. You'll pay thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for a course and not do the homework. You will wake up early, come onto the course, cut your camera off, and listen to it play. if you are not self-interested. So one of those things is knowing that this is you making a decision to make you better and then disciplining yourself to make the most of yourself through the experience. So that was number one, is I had to leverage my self-interest to another degree. Number two, discipline. I had to master getting things done. I think that is a discipline in itself. So one thing that we heard throughout the program was done is better than perfect if perfect never gets done. I think that a lot of perfectionists struggle with that because they hold themselves to high standards. And what I learned is that it's better to readjust the standard but not lower it. So I did not say it's best to lower the standard, but adjust the standard. So what I mean is if I have 2 hours to do something, 3 hours to do something, I should adjust the standard of work to be appropriate with the allotted time that I have. If I've got 3 days to do something, then my standard for execution should also be in accordance with 3 days of time. So one thing that I learned that I had to leverage was if the coach said this needs to be done in order for you to get X result, implement, implement, implement. So the way that I was able to get around the perfection dichotomy or say conundrum was how much time did he give me? Okay, he gave me this much time. How well can I do this in keeping with my standards in this amount of time? I can do it this well, and I got it done. So learning to get things done in keeping with your standards was another discipline that I had to leverage. So self-interest and effective execution despite constricted timelines.
Nice. Very nice. Olivia, are you present? Are you able
Yeah,
to?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Yep, I'm here.
Yes, we can. I think the video might be a little frozen, but we can hear you fine.
Hello.
Um, so Olivia, talk to us about sort of your process and how important discipline has been for you. We know that you're a professional. You've been in the event space for, I think, well over 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Absolutely.
The project management space as well. Like we know, like guys, if you're an entrepreneur, you're working on a project, you're working on some kind of project. So talk to us about discipline and the role of discipline in your process, especially because with what you do, a lot of it involves holding not just yourself accountable, but also holding many other people, in fact, all of your clients accountable to ensure that you get the project done.
So I actually was writing and thinking as I listened to both Michelle and Bobby say the same thing. Discipline and routine is really, really important in being successful, right, in anyone's business. But having discipline and creating those routines is key in any business and of course in project management and also in events management. Being able to create a routine for yourself, for your organization, and to create a successful event, multiple events, and also to manage a project. Setting a routine for your business, whether it's starting the morning in a certain way each day, having routines where it comes to exercising, or calling clients each morning, making sure that you're going through your checklist for an event to make sure that it's carried out successfully. All of those are key in making sure that you're going to fulfill your clients' needs. Bobby, you talked about rigor and making sure that you're able to fulfill those whatever those requirements within a timeline or whatnot. All of these things are key in making sure that you're implementing whatever is needed for client needs. So very, very key in a successful business and being a leader in those businesses.
100%. Now, I have a question for in fact, for Michelle and Bobby, right? Because you guys, you were at most of the brand challenge. So my question is, and this is sort of on the same execution piece. My question is to you, and this is for everybody looking as well. What would you say is, if you could select one powerful piece of information that you could apply to your business, what would it have been from the challenge itself? Just one. I know Sean spoke about so many other pieces, right? Sean gave so much phenomenal information because it was 5 days. However, if you had to, I don't know, select one thing that you could take and apply to your business, what would it be?
I will start out, and it was so many things went through my mind, to be honest with you, Junior, but I want to lead with this one when he talked about branding and being visible, because it makes very little sense and dollars to have a business, but no one knows about it. If you are the best kept secret, then there's no way that you can attract the clients, the ideal clients that you want. People have to know who you are and in a favorable light. So Sean talked about whether you brand yourself or not, you have a brand. You have a brand. So it's either intentional or it's what you're allowing other people to formulate about you. So when he talked about how to brand yourself, brand you, not what you do, and be able to put all the aspects together, that really hit me. And that was the one thing I felt that is the difference, the pivotal point that's really going to set your business apart from anyone else's. Because when you brand what you do, you're now in competition with other people who do this thing. Oh, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a this, I'm a that. Now you're in competition. But when you brand you, there's only one you. No one else can compete with Michelle D. Clark. No one can compete with Bobby Jackson. No one can compete with Sean Wright East, Junior Frederick, with Olivia. Nobody can compete with us because we are who we are all by ourselves. So we brand ourselves and make ourselves visible through the marketing strategies, the authenticity marketing that Sean talked about. That was the A in the brand. So put those two together, and that's the beginnings of a winning recipe. And of course, you have to implement the other parts of the brand. So you have to be a part of the challenge and find out, be on the inside where the heat is, to find out what those other pieces were. But that was, I think, the one piece that really sets us apart and sets us off on the pathway to massive success.
Very nice, very nice. All right, guys. So if my team could put the link back up, we are gonna have a VIP session. In fact, the VIP is actually starts at 9. So from 9 to 12, if you still want to come into the brand challenge, you want to come into the VIP, it's not too late. So if Mr. B could put up the link one more time towards the bottom of the screen, that'll be very useful. Thank you so much. Let's get Bobby, and then we'll go to a quick break.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, biggest thing that I took away from the brand challenge was in the section of remote work when Coach Sean Rais talked about attracting your ideal team. You do it much like attracting your ideal client. And as I shared with you guys before, that's a stage in my business that I'm definitely growing in. And I don't think you ever outgrow HR. You see the biggest companies and they still must manage the human resources. And one thing that I wrote down as an insight or an aha moment for me was that you can tell a lot about yourself by who you attract. And I had a large team at once, say maybe upwards of 8 to 10 people, 7 to 10 people, and we have significantly dwindled down. Some of them naturally fell off, it just wasn't for them, and others were let go, for lack of better terms, right? We just wasn't a fit. And what I realized during this process was that I was developing myself and my brand. And through the development of myself and my brand, I was separating myself from identities that I attracted that were no longer in keeping with the new identity. So I thought that that was absolutely phenomenal and is a great reason for everyone to get in on the VIP. You know, if you are looking at the link, you see the link, don't just see it, click it, copy it, put it in your browser now, pull up another browser, have this one up at the same time and put it in there so that you know that you don't miss it. Because one of the biggest things I hear is, I need a team. I need a team. I need a team. Right next to, I need money. I need money. I need money. Well, I'll tell you this. If you are at remote work on that day, you saw Sean Rais talk about how to build a team that you don't pay with cash, but you pay with a vision and a dream, and you develop a business and a dream in which everyone benefits mutually. Very, very important. Very, very insightful. I know I could throw a rock in anywhere in the city and hit an individual that says, I'll work for free for a year if you can, not guarantee, but give me a very likely belief that I'll be able to earn 6 figures in the next year. Like, if they can believe it, like if you can lay the plan out good enough and you can show what you've done up until this point, and you can say, you give me 12 months of your best effort, we'll be able to cut some nice checks next year. I almost guarantee that you'll find a handful of people that'll say, I believe in this. I believe in you. I believe in me. Let's go change the world. That's my piece.
That's right. Guys, we're going to go to a quick break, but before we do, just want to let you know that if you're looking at this right now, I guarantee you, listen, I'm not even saying this because, you know, this is the company, etc., etc. Listen, the VIP is going to be so powerful. I must have been through, I don't know, 20 different VIPs, okay, over the last 3 years. And every single one, Sean always brings absolutely phenomenal information. We'll be doing the leadership chess test. And if you don't know what that is, listen, you need to come on the inside. So you don't want to be a shadow boxer, right? If I do the push-up, you don't get the strength, okay? If I do the push-up, you don't get the strength. You don't want to be a shadow boxer. Get in the ring, get inside the VIP. Guys, let's go to a quick break. And also, guys, put up the link for the VIP. During the break, let's give people an opportunity to come in. Let's grow.
I said Sean Rais. I'm proud. I said Sean Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire and heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle.
All right, guys, so we are back. Breakfast with the Brand. Put your flames in the chat. We have the Miss Olivia. She's back. So Miss Olivia, before we went to the break, we were actually just talking a little bit about the challenge. I was telling everybody that, and this is just the truth, guys. If I do the push-up, you don't get strong. If I do the push-up, you don't get strong. Meaning that if I'm the one doing the work, you don't get the results. If I do the work, you don't get the results. So for people who may be on the outside looking, what advice would you offer somebody who is maybe still on the fence? I mean, guys, the VIP and team, go ahead, put up the link again. The VIPs, I think under $200 or something. I don't even know what price it is. But what advice would you give to somebody on the outside looking in?
Do it. Just what you said. If you are on the outside looking in, you have to experience it. It is absolutely worth it. It is life changing, and it is absolutely worth the investment. You don't know what you are missing. Yeah, you do
All right,
not know what you're missing.
thank you. And I already know for Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, let me just say this, guys. Let me say this about Bobby. Bobby is very interesting. Bobby is one of those people who is not afraid to go all in on his dreams, and I've seen that firsthand. I've seen that. So Bobby, I'm not even surprised at the amount of success that you're having right now. I've personally seen that myself over the years, and Bobby, but still, go ahead. What would you say to somebody who's on the outside looking in, who's wondering, should I join the VIP? Should I not? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? What would you say?
Oh man, I love this question because I share this with my community all the time. And it's the difference between cost and price. And I love it because the analogy that I'm going to share today is a little bit different than the normal analogy that I share, but I'll give you both. So if you're on the fence, you're thinking about it, you're trying to figure it out. One thing that I say to people is the price is what you pay to have it. The cost is what you pay to go without it. So that's a very technical term, but it's very easy to understand as well. So we call that opportunity cost, technically. Now, in the regular world, if you're just going about your business, the question is, ooh, can I give them something, Junior? Can I give them a gift?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to give y'all a gift. If you're writing, if you're taking notes, I'm about to give you a gift. This is, I tell you, this thing will save you or make you $10,000. I guarantee it. I need you to write down 5 things. Present value, PV. Future value, FV. Interest rate, R. Time horizon, and opportunity cost. Those that know my background know that I studied and concentrated in finance and economics in college. So my specialty is making money. That's what I know how to do. I know how to assess risk, how to turn a little bit of money into a lot more money. Now, there are rules for doing this. And I've just given you the principles. I'm about to show you how those principles work so I can help you get off the fence. So future value means your money today is worth something. Money is worth more today than it's worth. Well, money is worth more tomorrow than it's worth today. The only reason that money is worth more tomorrow than it's worth today is because you can invest it. But I say it that way so I can flip it on its head. What we teach in school is that money is worth more today than it's worth tomorrow. So why do we say that? Because you can invest it in multiple things, right? You can invest it in multiple things. So your present value is, if this thing is $200, I got $200 right here. Future value is, what could this money become if I invest it in the right thing? And that's where the interest rate comes in. So, however much more money you make than you invested is the rate in which your money grew. So, if I invested $200 and what I learned in this experience helps me to yield $500, then that's a nice sizable return. And then you've got time horizon. Time horizon says, how long does it take me to turn my $200 investment into more money? Well, Sean will tell you, and just about anybody else in the brand will say, your results are based on your speed of implementation. The good thing about this is you control that. So if you execute on what you learn in this experience, then you have the opportunity to get a near immediate return on investment. Now, here is the kicker: opportunity cost. Opportunity cost says I can save the $200, I can invest the $200 here, or I can spend the $200 somewhere else. So what you're really asking yourself, if you're on the fence, you've been through the brand challenge, you've been following Sean Rais for months, some of you years, you have been in this branded the $1 billion breakfast with the brand, like you've been here week after week after week. The question really becomes, where else can I spend $200 as profitably? And the answer should be simple. I can't spend $200 more profitably anywhere else and get the same return in the same amount of time. Time is risk. So you can spend the $200 somewhere else, put it in the stock market, but it will take you longer, most likely, to get the return. So if you invest it here and you get the return near immediately, as quickly as you can implement, the question is, do you really want what you say you want? And I'll turn this back over to Junior, because if that didn't get you off the fence, then you don't want what you say you want.
That's right, Bobby. Thank you so much, Bobby. That was absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to say this. The best investment is always the investment in yourself. The best investment is always the investment in yourself. And we also look at it like this. We say, what is the ROI? But we also say, what is the COI? So what is the return on investment? But also, what is the cost of inaction? So I want you guys to think about this. So if my team could put up the link somewhere in the comments, somewhere else, think about it. What is the return on investment? Just like Bobby was saying, the future value. But what is the cost of inaction? What is it costing you not to make the investment? And that's what's really important. All right, guys. So thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle and to Olivia to say any final comments.
Thank you so much, Junior. And thank you, Sean Rais, for allowing us to yet again appear on the show. I'm really thankful, happy, and grateful. And I don't really know what else to say after what Bobby, he just gave y'all a clinic. So the only thing I can leave with you all is, as the mindset management coach, I always work with people on their thought process. So we always have the thought of, I'm so glad I did, or I wish I had of. So which side of the coin do you want to be on? If where you're at right now in your life is not exactly where you want to be, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, if you want to go further, the same mindset that got you to where you are is not going to be the same mindset that's going to get you to where you want to be. So you need to be under tutelage of someone who can get you there. And so the VIP session is what's going to help to get you there. So do not delay unless you want to delay your results. So just go right back to, where do you want to be? And at the end of the day, do you want to say, I'm so glad I did, or I wish I had? That's it.
So it's very hard to follow that up. But I'll say again, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and echo you, Michelle, and say, if you want an opportunity to join like-minded individuals to push your business forward, and also to understand business principles and go further, this is definitely an opportunity to further that understanding. So thank you again.
All right.
You're muted, Joey.
The VIP will be starting in the next 30 minutes. So you still have an opportunity to dive in. We're going to put up that link somewhere. So, guys, once we sign off, Mr. B, go ahead, put up the VIP link one more time. Leave it up for a few minutes. Again, thank you, Michelle, Bobby, and Olivia. Thank you once again. You guys always make the show phenomenal when you come. Thank you so much.
Thank
All right, everybody viewing this, thank you so much. This has been Breakfast with the Brand. Jump into the VIP, and I'll see you on the inside. Let's go.
What you're looking at right now is the new face of leadership. I chose to go the route of SOE, standards of excellence. So I help people put zeros behind their numbers. I help people move up in or out of their organization and get paid their annual income monthly, their monthly income weekly, and their weekly income daily. I promise you, if you follow me at all, you're gonna wanna use something to write with. CSA first. CSA. Clarify, simplify, and amplify. Clarify, simplify, and amplify. It starts with the decision. Who do you want to be and what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? You have to define that. If you don't know, then it's vague and it'll never be clear. The problem that we have is clarity. We walk into an organization happy to be there, happy that they accepted us, but we don't have a clear goal. That's why people stay in the same organization year after year after year, go to the same vacation spots with the same people and talk the same amount of nonsense around the same water cooler. So when I go into an organization and someone says they've been here for 20 years and they're still around $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, I'm like, whew, it's chilly. It's a little bit cold when I know that all it takes for you to raise your prices, whether it's inside or outside of an organization, is self-belief and dedication. Brand you and not what you do. So when I meet people, I ask people, tell me a little bit about yourself, and they immediately tell me what they do. That's not who you are. Branding is who you are. Marketing is how people find out about you. So when you say, I'm a photographer, you just lumped yourself in with 1 million other photographers. What's special about you? Why should I work with you? I don't need a hand with a camera. I need a man with a story. A woman with a goal, a vision. Someone with an idea of where they want to, what they want to be and who they want to impact in their lives. That's what moves me. We know where we belong, whether we're in that seat or not. We heard the word legacy and we were pulled to come. I flew in last minute. Let's go. Leadership, legacy, love. Whew. I gotta be there. So what happens in marketing is when you say, I am you put yourself in what we call a red sea. You're now fighting against 1 million competitors with 1 million different things. Clarify. Who are you? What do you stand for? And then simplify it. Don't make it 10 things. Bruce Lee said, I do not fear the man who has thrown 10,000 kicks. He says, I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. You can have the most mouth-watering steak that the world has ever seen, but if you try to position it or place it in a vegan neighborhood, you make no money. Who are you trying to market to? Sometimes we don't support each other. Sometimes you got to go outside of your community, outside of your neighborhood, outside of your phone book to find someone who will support you. So if your business is hurting, think about the place that you're trying to move, whatever it is that you're moving, and the people that you're trying to sell to. You want to become the OVO. The OVO is the only viable option in your vertical. The only viable option in your vertical. We're not here for competition. We're here for domination. We're here for domination. Period. And if you feel differently, you're probably in the wrong room. Is anybody ready for the fifth one? Are you ready for the fifth one? Might want to capture this. Might want to capture this. For God's sakes, man, your prices. Your prices. We should stand out because of price. Some people look for the lowest price. You're making a big mistake because you're defining yourself. Your success comes from mindset and perception. If you're competing over the lowest price, there's a problem. Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands. Train people. I'm going to leave you with this. We train people how to treat us when we meet us based on how we treat ourselves. Brand you and not what you do.